when we're talking about civilization and when civilization started, a lot of people will cite the Bible, they'll cite Samaria, but where do we consider civilization starting? There's like a Göbekli Tepe that's like 9,000 years ago. There's and these numbers might be totally wrong, but there's some like Siberian proof of agriculture and some in China of making wine. When do we consider civilization as actually having taken place? Are we just talking a city, or what really defines that?
And you brought it up too, Göbekli Tepe seems to be now what they're willing to go back as far as it was probably about 12,000 years ago. And what defines it is written language. Suddenly we've gone from small little pockets of having turned into Homo sapiens sapien to agriculture being present. Once you have the agriculture, you have all that subsistent farming, then culture is able to branch out. So then you start specializing in things like blacksmithing, different other types of arts and crafts. And at that point, then, you bring into a barter system, you start bringing on economics, and then you get religion in order to control the masses.
So so why are people so willing to just let go of the idea that even as early as 25,000 years ago, that somebody built a wooden city, kept records on wood or paper, and that all got wiped away and eroded? Why are people so quick to say, hey, this didn't happen?
I think a lot of it comes to religion. I think religious beliefs play a factor when it comes to that. And also the fact that, when you have these people that carry a doctorate's degree telling the masses, hey, this is what happened, and you're constantly told they're the expert, this is what happened, you start to believe, or, as you and I know, you start to conform with that belief.
It seems like mainstream science pushes us back about 2,000 years every once in a while, especially here in North America for when it was occupied. How far back are we thinking human civilization actually goes?
Oh, gosh, if you look at what they found in Sumeria with the King's tablets, it goes back 400,000 years.
So this tends to clash, because this is where the real question comes in, because, I kind of knew this was going to be the answer. So I'm kind of setting up our next question, and that is, how do we just
reconcile
the battle with the evolutionary science to the factoids that are going back further?
That's a difficult question to answer, because you have two different factions. You have people like myself, like you, it sounds like, that obviously believe that there were other humanoid type people that lived here, that our history was lost, goes back a long distance. And then you have a lot of those people, in universities, the scholars that are sticking to a very conservative timeline. And if we stick to them going back 2,000 years every decade or 2 decades, it's going to take a long time, to get to where I believe we really started from, or at least where we're able to somewhat show some evidence that we existed, and we existed with greater abilities at some points than what we have right now, and I mean by technology. If you follow the catastrophes, you can, or at least I'm able to show us going back about 70,000 years with catastrophes that have caused us to lose, our technology and go back into another dark age, and then it took thousands of years to build it back. But I don't know what it's going to take, and I don't think it ever will get to the point where everybody will agree upon, hey, this is it. Unless at some point maybe we find a different technology which allows us to slip back into the past, or go through some type of portal that was created, and be able to get the actual answers. Otherwise, it's going to be presenting evidence, and if they want to accept it, they can, and if not, they're not going to.
Right. Yeah. I realize, and I also realized that the question I asked, of course, was very open-ended. I did not expect you to have an answer, because it seems like our world, our country specifically, is just full of these different ideas that can't reconcile with one another.